clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Broadcasting live with RDR. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast, I promise, in all of the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tommy C, and I'm back. Feels like a decade, for Christ's sakes. And I'm here with my point man, longtime original, none other than Jeff the Huffman and Mr. Versts. How are you, sir?
Doing good.
That's good. And none other than the Big D, Dr. Zhivago, behind the glass. All right.
Listen, fuckhead.
You got it, fuckheads. So it's good to see you guys in the chat. It's good to see you back. And it's also nice to get into something YouTube related for a change because, well, shit, that was the original idea of the change so many years ago. 2 years ago, in fact. All right, first, I'm going to ask you, Jeff, since you haven't been on forever. What did you think of the series on Jake Paul?
I actually liked it. You know, it kept me around for both episodes. But as I was watching it, you know, the longer it went on, I'm like, this ties into more. It screamed Tana Mojo, not so much Jake Paul.
I think that would be my. They all have the feel of the TanaCon one, which is really good.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Now we have a standard. It's a shame.
No. I'm like everything they're describing about Jake Paul. I'm like, you're describing Tana.
I'll get into that. Well,
in what way? I felt anyway.
In what way? Like she doesn't give a fuck? I didn't get that feeling.
The self-destructive behavior, maybe.
Well, yeah, I want to get. That's the sociopath part, right? And I want to get into that, but that also could be just being young and stupid. Remember, Jake's 22, she's 19, 20. Some of that is normal. I know it's not normal for you, Jeff, because you're Mr. Responsibility, and you came through those years quite easily.
That's true.
You were with me the whole time, and you did not do anything extremely stupid because you hate the show, and you didn't want us to talk about anything. Verse, where you at?
I am avoiding everything Jake Paul related because I'm so sick of hearing anything about him that I have not watched it yet.
You didn't watch it?
Fuck no.
I would have put Tobes on. What's the matter with you? I had to suffer through this shit. So did you. What the hell is the matter with you? I talked to you this morning.
You literally asked me, and I said no. I haven't watched it yet. You said, "Okay, cool, great. We're gonna watch it on stream and talk about it."
In Versts' defense, you're not the best at responding to messages.
You said you wouldn't watch it. Well, I had to go with my family. I had a meeting this morning. He said he'd watch it. No problem. What the fuck's the matter with you?
I said I haven't watched it, dumbass.
Why didn't you watch it between the time that I talked to you this morning and now? Like, wouldn't that be helpful?
You said you were going to watch it on stream, fucker.
Well, they're going to watch it on stream? You can't watch it. They're both 45 minutes.
I know that. No shit.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'll say, iNabber in the chat. Well, what would you do, Nabber? They're supposed to comment on the stupid video. Fire Versts. Wasn't that bad? They're not that bad.
Honestly, I think the Shane documentary that he made was a lot better than the Tana one he made.
Suck a dick.
Jake Paul, I think it had the same amount of effort as the Tana Mojo one, but it was so much better because I love shitting on Jake Paul more than Tana Mojo. So I think it was better in that regard.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, great. Inside of Mind with the chat. I don't know. Do I know Inside of Mind? I certainly know iNabber. iNabber also said he'd come on.
You're supposed to say that you know who that is because he has a check mark.
I know. I you know what? Everybody thinks I suck. When check marks come in here, everybody thinks I suck their dick. Everybody that I knew, I actually knew. And I'm sorry, Inside of Mind, I'm going to check your stuff out, but I don't know you. I apologize. And maybe I'll get to know. Maybe I will get to know you. Who knows? My new favorite YouTuber is It's a Gundam. That's my new favorite one. I've been watching a lot of his stuff. Because it's gaming, but not skeptic gaming. I'm tired of the fucking skeptic community. Fuck them. Whatever. All right. I wanted to go over some of the criticism that I just found utterly ridiculous. And for anybody that says I pander, I want you to, every time I criticize True Geordie or make a crack at him or joke or slight, his fans go berserk. I get unsubbing a whole nine. But I had to bring this up, so I apologize. So next time you call me a panderer, please think of this. All right. Shane Dawson is a real sociopath. True Geordie criticizes Jake on the Jake Paul docuseries. All right. Let's see what he had to say. Geordie expressed some criticism on the idea as well as the docuseries as a whole thus far, stating that Dawson was an overreactor and insinuated that Dawson was milking the project for fucking views. Does that not, from a big YouTuber like True Geordie, does that not scream fucking jealousy to you? First of all, like you, jackass, he's in this to make views, make money, and that's why you're in it. And I had no problem with that. And it's funny when I criticize you for KSI in the first fight, which you did. You were awful sports announcer in the first fight. You were much better second time around, I have to admit, right? That's because you thought it was for the views. You thought it was what the people wanted. All this game is, at the end of the day, is give the people what they want. I hope they want truth and an honest opinion, right? But most guys don't do that. And I can't believe you're milking the project for views. What other reason would there to be put it up, True Geordie? Why do you have to keep this Newcastle? Why does he have to keep the Newcastle stereotype of everybody being a meathead, stupid idiot? Why?
You thought it might be true?
Yeah. I'm from Newcastle, and look at that picture. I'm in Newcastle, and I'm big, dumb, and stupid. Thanks. Of course it was for views. Of course. He's milking it for views. He told people he was going to do this. Did George Lucas milk Star Wars for views because he made 3 of the fucking movies? Why is there such a different standard for mainstream television and YouTubers? It's unbelievable. He likewise felt Dawson was slandering people's images, images that held Jake Paul could be just a self-absorbed prick who got famous very young. I think that's reasonable. There's no proof whatsoever that Jake Paul's a sociopath. I think we could all agree on that. He might just be young and stupid. We all do sociopathic type things when we're between the ages of 17 and 22. I could agree with that.
I'd be willing to bet he didn't get spanked very much growing up.
But guess who didn't call him a sociopath? Shane Dawson. He explored it. What do we have to do? He explored the idea because it's a common criticism. Well, we can't do that. Why? Was that milking it for views? Yeah, I mean, it's like. Let me put it in stupid soccer terms, right? It's like doing a documentary on the Newcastle team, FC, whatever the fuck you call them, all right, and not mentioning any of the players by name. That's how stupid that is. And you might be right. Maybe he's not a field. In addition, Geordie accused Dawson of performing the same tactics that Logan Paul used in his apology video, using music of a certain genre to incite a reaction out of audiences. Why do YouTubers have a different standard than regular TV? Why is it manipulation when it's a YouTuber and it's a damn good show with a television show?
Because YouTubers are on this big pedestal where it's like, I'm not a bullshit artist.
Yeah,
traditional television.
Yeah, YouTubers are 100%. YouTubers are 100% ethical.
Well, in fairness to that, but I don't know if that's unethical to make it exciting. I'm sorry. I watch American crime shows from Germany, and I've been doing it for years. They all have creepy music, even stuff that is really serious, like recent shootings.
It's supposed to create the mood.
Like set the mood. That's what it is. That's manipulation. And how come you don't give me? And guess what, True Geordie? Guess which ones I watch almost the most? The BBC. They do the same thing. Nobody gets it. Well, they're trying to manipulate these people to be scared because the serial killers, busted down doors in London. I've seen stuff on Jack the Ripper, Sutcliffe, all those fucking wackos over there. They all play. Why is Shane Dawson not a TV producer? And and why is he a manipulator in your eyes? When if you just watch the same shit on the BBC about Sutcliffe or any mass murderer from England or anything like that, and that uses creepy music, and how somehow that's not manipulation,
That was the
but
case.
this is.
Between this is great. I love this show. They do very good.
It's utterly
iNabber's in the chat,
stupid.
and he's asking to be pulled in.
Who? iNabber?
Yeah, do you want me to pull him in?
Yes, of course. He's a fucking big celeb. Yeah, you want to be pulled in? Sure. Hey, can I wash your feet before you come in? All right, you get in here, iNabber. Okay, I'm putting that you in the title right now.
Do it.
Okay. Yes.
I'll
You're
share
using
it as well.
You're using his name for views?
Yes, I'm using iNabber's name for views, and he's very nice to do that. All right,
I'll keep an eye on my watching count.
Why does Shane get a different standard than Steven Spielberg or any other TV producer?
Well, I'm making a video on this right now. It should be out tomorrow. But I was saying, I found it funny that last time he did one of these documentaries, everyone was like, "Oh, Shane should get a Netflix documentary. Shane should be given a TV show."
Yeah.
The moment he makes it like a TV show, everyone's like, "This is really insensitive." It's like, no, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like, I can't say that properly though, because people be like, "Oh, you're just saying that because you were in the first episode."
I know you can't do it. I can, and we haven't spoken, so I can do it.
But it's like mad that people hold this like golden standard for TV shows. Because like, I like watching occasional documentaries on Netflix, but they're so over dramatized.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
The funny part I found was when people were like, people saying you could be misrepresenting sociopaths and it could really upset them, and I'm like, sociopaths, they don't care.
Fuck so. First of all, isn't a mental illness different? I could be wrong on this. Mental illness is different than a personality disorder, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm not certain, but I think so. It's definitely to do with like it's around that sort of genre, like sort of way. I'm not a therapist or a psychologist.
Sure. But I thought there was one, because the way I was taught with sociopaths, this is what, psychiatrists have told me, get away. So if psychiatrists are telling they can't be helped, get away. I've heard this thing that therapy actually makes them worse. Why can't we make a joke about them or a criticism? I mean, like, what the fuck's wrong with that? Tommy C does SFTP reviews. Exactly. Exposed.
I found that the thing as well with the views thing, I found mad when people were like, "Oh, he's just doing it for." I mean, of course he's just doing it for views. Who isn't?
He's a professional. He's a professional YouTuber. You know, when a movie comes out, like I don't know, Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 11/9, and it failed, everybody criticizes you failed. You didn't get enough views. It's so bizarre.
Exactly. It was, but the thing is with like, I've noticed it's really only been like the British side of YouTube saying it. Yeah. And when one big face on YouTube from the British scene said something, all the other smaller British YouTubers agree with them. So it's something I've been noticing more and more.
No
it's
kidding.
More of, the American YouTube side tends to be like everyone's at war with each other, and the British side is kind of like everyone's just wanking each other off.
Bunch of crooked tooth cocksuckers.
Pretty much. But I'm just kind of sat there like. I saw.
Do you know True Geordie? Have you met him? I mean, I
got referenced on the last two podcasts, and I got mocked in the last one because his co-host Lawrence was saying how I had no idea what I was talking about.
That's not true. Episode. You were great. You were great in that first episode. I don't know if he. First of all, and I tell you something. Go check my 2 interviews with iNabber prior to this. He's a well-spoken, smart guy. Does he get shit wrong? Sure. But I mean, you were great. I thought you were really good in the first
I did
episode.
a lot of research before that, but it was like
you even said I got to interrupt you. You even said when you didn't know something, you said I don't know. This is a rumor. This is an idea. This is a theory. You laid it all out, and I don't know if it was just great editing. It made you sound really smart, and you are smart. But you know what I mean. It made you sound smarter than I thought you were.
No. Well, no. To be fair, when I watched it, I was like, did I say this? I was like, I can't remember saying this.
When I was in Emp Lemon's video about Leafy and he edited it like perfectly, I was like, God, I sounded really good there. I don't remember sounding that smart. I know exactly what you're talking about.
The editor deserves a pay rise after that because like he did a really good job.
You did a good job too. Go pat yourself on the back. Jeff, did you like what iNabber did?
Thank you.
I loved it. I thought he was very well spoken.
Zhivago.
I was glad I was in the first episode and not the second episode because my episode that I was in
is not as controversial.
No, I can tell you were really prepared for that shit.
Yeah. You were really.
Yeah.
Another thing is everything about sociopaths in a second is nothing I haven't heard before. The only thing that I heard that was different, I was told all narcissists are sociopaths. That not all sociopaths are narcissists. But then again, I'm not a doctor. What the fuck do I know? That's the only thing I sort of learned that was new. And you know, for all the criticism of calling him a psychiatrist, you know, he did get a legitimate therapist in there.
Yeah,
you know,
the thing I had a few like not issues, but like I'm gonna say like in my next video, like what my actual problems were. All it is I think it could have been more clearer, but at the end of the day, it is a YouTube video. Like people,
yeah,
I think
that's true.
Because of the standard he set himself, people just imagine it's going to be like everything's going to be laid out.
I read a book called The Mask of Sanity. It's the premier book on psychopathy. I don't know how much of I took in because it was really aimed at medical students and people that are studying psychology. All right, there was nothing in there. This book was written in the late 50s. There is literally nothing in there that I didn't read in that book. And this is like the book's called The Mask of Sanity. And psychopathy has been something I've been, and you can ask Jeff, I've been interested in psychopathy since probably as long as he's known me. Everything that she said in there lined up with, there used to be an old meme in here that I was a sociopath. I kind of stole it from CM Punk. That was his kind of goof for a while, right? That was his thing in wrestling, you know? But everything he said, but that doesn't mean that True Geordie's not right, that Jake Paul's just a wacky kid that got a bunch of money thrown his way and acts stupid. You know, I act stupid when things are working out for me. You know, I mean, and I was 39 years old. You know, it's not completely ridiculous.
I think Shane doesn't think. I think Shane doesn't right now think. Well, at this point in the series, I don't think he actually thinks that Jake is a sociopath. I think he's just dramatizing it. Sure. Especially when we spoke off camera. He definitely thinks Logan is one though, for sure. Like,
oh really? That's a big bomb to drop.
Was he shaking? Was he shaking?
Was he shaking? Was he shaking when he said that?
Was he literally shaking?
How close?
When we were recording.
How close are you two? I mean, I knew you guys are. He was helping you out, but I sense that you guys have spoken before. That he just didn't do this because you were you. That you guys are friends. You know.
We like spoke to each other for the first time. I think maybe midway through the summer. I think maybe early July, late June, around that sort of time. He just emailed me about one of my videos. I can't say why.
Sure.
But yeah, we just spoke through about after that, and then we didn't talk for a while. But he liked to view my tweets here and there, and then he DM'd me telling me about the series and what he wants to do for it, and then kind of like was hitting me up here and there about it, and then we eventually just got on.
He really trusts you. He trusts you. On your opinion,
I guess so. Like,
you should be proud of that.
Video.
He's a really. I think he's brilliant at what he does. I put him up there with, you know, Colossal and Nerd City and iDubbbz as far as like engaging YouTubers.
I would say he's in a way replaced iDubbbz because iDubbbz hasn't done anything for a year.
You said that shit, not me, motherfucker.
But you know what I mean. iDubbbz hasn't done a content cop in almost a year.
Damn, it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been that long. Yeah, it's been pushing
11 months now.
I don't know. I won't piss off iDubbbz, man. I don't got a lot of friends.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying, like,
you know, you're growing too. You might not want to do that either. You know, you could have 1 million subs by this time. Yes, year, maybe more. You want to be nice. Hey, iDubbbz is great. I won't piss him off. Well, I think you did a great job. I thought you were fair in the video. I don't think exploring the sociopath thing is. I think there is some criticism to be made. Like, look, he's not a psychiatrist, but you know, when people make television shows about psychopathy, they aren't always doctors. Is it so bad to ask the questions? Is it so bad? He brought a therapist in. I don't. And at the end of the day, I mean, I got to be honest with one of my co-hosts, Nick DeOrio, he sent me a tweet. People reading into this shit too deep. It's entertainment. So many YouTubers make videos these days trying to prove something or expose something. It's so hard for people just to wrap their heads around the fact that it ain't an exposed video, and they just need to sit back and enjoy it. And that's what I've been able to do with all of Shane's stuff when it was TanaCon. I didn't watch the Jeffree Star stuff. That is not my bag. I'm a beer-swilling fucking hockey guy.
That's a surprise.
That's just not my. That's just not my bag. It's nothing to do with him. It's just not my thing. You know.
I think
sure.
I think if he advertised this series in a different way. So if the question of the series wasn't is Jake Paul a sociopath, and the question of is why is Jake Paul such a dickhead? Like, why does he do these things? I think it would be received so much more differently.
Oh, really?
But I think it's just because it's this one word everyone's going crazy about.
Do you think this is his fault? That the PR part is his fault? Because he's taking a lot of heat. That's a tough question.
I feel like he's been as nice as he can, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think there's much of a problem. Like, it's over dramatized. Like, that's obvious. It's so
so all his stuff is like that.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
He's a fucking 30-year-old gay TV producer. What do you expect? Come on, man. He's a gay dude. It's gonna be over dramatized. That's half the fun. I mean,
Jacksepticeye pretty nailed it with this tweet. I just read it out. He tweeted, "You're always gonna piss off somebody with such a charged topic. You've shown to be open and receptive to feedback as the series comes out, which I think is the most important part." Isn't
it interesting now? It isn't. I'm sorry, you weren't done with the tweet? I apologize.
No, I was done.
I thought you were done. Isn't it interesting now that the biggest criticism going in, you better not make him look good, right? You better not. And now it's you went too far with calling him a sociopath or suggesting he might be.
Yeah, you fucking buried him. God damn.
You're burying him. We've gone from the don't you make this guy to be a good guy, because there is an empathetic aspect to Shane's personality, and sometimes people that are empathetic like him can do damage. You know, some of the most damaging people in my life were people that chose empathy over good common sense, and you could never get mad at them because their heart was always in the right place. But and Shane strikes me as one of those guys, and I think he strikes a lot of other people like that too.
I think he kind of is, but I think he's definitely more like switched on than people think. So
yeah, sure.
I think he did want to he was interested in this because he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't. Because I was saying in my video, he could have just done another conspiracy theory video and got 20 million views from that. But I think there was one, he was interested, but there was definitely a kind of like a business mind about it. It's going to be such a talking point. And I think in some ways he probably is kind of glad it is. Like, I can't speak for him, but I feel like for it to be such a talking point, I feel like that may be of his intentions. And given how big this like series is, as in like how many parts there are, it's like clearly being like branded and marketed as well.
This is a stupid controversy, just outrage culture, knocking Shane Dawson. To Shane's credit, he's handled it masterfully, in my opinion. That's one thing that Shane does better than any YouTuber on the platform, is handle controversy. It is masterful. That's the only way to put it. He just knows how to deal with people. He knows how to get the fuck out. I mean, look at that example when Fuzi was over at Adam 22's podcast, and he was like, "I'm fucking out of here. Goodbye." I mean, he does. Thanks so much, Chunky Monster. Thanks so much, Film Oddities. And it is. I think that's a credit. And I was trying to explain everything to my dad with the TanaCon thing, and he goes, "Well, he's very mature for his age." I'm like, "Dad, he's 30. How much growing?" No, he's like, "No, that's really immature to sit there and be angry, visualize the situation, and not just be angry. How can I make this better for everybody? Make it better for my friend, make it better for me, and make a lot of money because that's my job, and focus that all into work." That's maturity that my father said that normally 50-year-olds have, not a 29, 30-year-old guy.
He somehow. Sorry, go on.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he's somehow like. It's because with YouTube, like when you're talking about something like TanaCon, it's like Tana Mojo of a big fan base. It's something sensitive. It's like something like controversial has gone down. He somehow made a series which got 15 million views or something like that per episode. Made everyone happy. Somehow not defended his friend, but kind of like helped his friend out whilst painting her out to be the bad guy in it. It's
he did. The best part of that whole episode was like, I'm helping you, I'm your buddy, but you didn't go into this for the right reasons. Boom, dramatic music. That was the best part of TanaCon, because he did kind of call her out. Hey, look, I'm helping you, but this is your responsibility too. It was really beautiful. He
exposes people in really smart ways where it looks like he isn't exposing them, but he really is. It looks like it's not deliberate, but we definitely know it.
And it also shows that he might have
really shit on him.
Yeah, it's like when iDubbbz criticizes somebody, he'll point it out, and there's nothing wrong in that. But I feel like the way Shane does it, he does it a way so people can't take issue with him, because he's kind of like explaining a situation, and they just kind of stumbles upon it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Are you allowed to criticize him? Did you have that conversation with him? It's
I'm doing my next video actually.
Oh, really?
Like,
you think? Are you afraid when you do stuff like that?
I'm not afraid of criticizing Shane because I know he takes it well. But it's not even the only criticism is it's not even of him. It's more about the therapist.
I want to mention something. When you're getting 300 a day on your channel, all right? Very respectable. The day this thing broke, you got 19,000, 18,000 the next day, 6,000. Now you're averaging a K a day. What is that like? From going from you were making waves prior to this. You've been making waves since the day I found out about you. Of course, it was last Christmas. What is this ride like? This has got to be a lot different than, I don't know, exposing chubs. I
think it's like the last year has just been. It's like a lot of people say it, but I feel like I've learned more in this year than I have the last 18, to be honest.
Probably
because
right.
like so much shit has gone on, and I've spoken to so many cunts, but so many nice people as well.
Sure.
It's mad. Like when you, especially in this industry, when you succeed on something, so many people will bring you down.
Sure.
And that's so cliche, but we saw it a week ago.
We see it's real time. It's real time. I mean, True Geordie, I don't understand. Does he realize how hypocritical this was? If he's ever enjoyed a crime show, if he's ever enjoyed a documentary on things like sociopaths, I've seen a Channel 4 documentary.
We're pure YouTubers who don't do that kind of thing.
I mean, he has got no insight whatsoever. While Geordie criticized Dawson docuseries, he likewise expressed respect for him as a creator, but holding fast to his points. What was his points? Let's see. Do you know when that kid in school is going around telling everyone that kid is gay? Will you really find out a few years later that kid wanted everyone else to be gay was actually gay? Is Shane Dawson that with sociopaths? What the fuck are you talking about, True Geordie?
So there's those fake alpha males in high school. It's like, this kid's a faggot, this kid's a faggot, this kid's a faggot, and then he graduates.
He turns out to be a kid.
Yeah, he was actually the faggot all along.
He was actually the faggot all along, yeah. I know a guy like that on my football team.
Yeah, well, he's saying that Shane's running around and saying everyone's a sociopath, and then
that's not. He did one episode. It's one episode. It's not even done. iNabber, do you know how many episodes that he's doing?
8 is a lot.
Yeah, it's 8.
Oh wow.
Jake comes in on the 5th episode, and I think the next episode he interviews Nick Crompton. I think.
Oh, I can't wait till he talks to Nick Crompton. That's going to be interesting. All right, you called in for this, and I was going to mention either way, and I think a lot of my fans want to hear this. I think I could speak for just about everyone in this chat, except for maybe 4 people, right now. I've seen Keemstar do some rotten shit to people, but what happened to you and digging up your old queeks when you dropped the N-bomb? But it wasn't. Was it hard ER or was it NIGGIA that you?
It was both. It was
both, really. In what context was that again? Just to respond,
I could explain it, but I've said it a million times. But it was a case of, you know what football Twitter is, yeah?
Football Twitter?
Yeah, it was when you're it's kind of it's basically like a trolling community at this point,
okay.
And we were just the whole iDubbbz how he uses the N-word. That's how we used it back then.
Oh, okay. No, we did that shit when I was in school too.
It was all in jokes and stuff. But the thing is, I knew the tweets were there for quite a while, and I was speaking to Alex, and I was like, should I just tweet about this? Should I just
delete them?
Because I was planning on literally being there are some dodgy tweets from me.
Yeah. And by the way, how old are you now, and how old were you then? Just to put some perspective on the whole thing.
I think I must have been beginning of university, so 18, I reckon, and I'm 21 now. So 3.
So you're being an idiot. You're being an idiot on Twitter long before you knew you might get famous on the internet.
Oh yeah, it was the last time the latest of the tweets were when I had around 900 subs, probably.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, let's put it. Let me give you a little backstory. Obviously, iNabber here was a prominent figure, maybe even the most prominent figure besides Shane Dawson in the first Jake Paul episode. He was called on because he does do drama topics on his YouTube channel. He's managed to put 100K together before all this. Keemstar for some unexplicable reason asked his audience to search his tweet history. He posted some fake ones, right? Some of them were outright bullshit, right?
Well, the message one was the one that really kind of like irked me because it looks really bad.
Yeah.
And I know what the message comes from, but it was basically we had this like chat and we were like making up loads of shit about each other. Like it was this like must have been about May 2016.
Okay.
And we were just like creating fake screenshots and shit of each other and then tweeting them and stuff, just like to meme each other back in the day. Because that was kind of some of the fucked up shit we do. And that was one of them. And I knew the DM existed. And I know for a fact for the last like 6 months, I don't know if Keem saw them, but people were the people I know were tweeting them at them.
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah,
I even spoke to Wavy Web Surf about it because he not Wavy Web Surf, Willie Mac show.
Willie Mac show.
Yeah, because he DM'd me about it. He's like, "Yo, what's this?" And I was just like, explained it to him. It was always gonna come out. Like,
I guess. Well, you know, were you? First of all, were you surprised? Were you seeing it coming from Keem when you saw?
I knew it was gonna happen. I literally said to Alex, "This is gonna happen on the day." Yeah. It's just
and Alex said no. Really?
Huh?
So you said to Alex, and he says it's gonna happen today, and then Keem literally went after you. Like
I didn't think it was gonna be Keem. I thought I didn't know because I know Keem doesn't like me.
Yeah.
But I didn't
because you have no respect for facts, but he never actually tells you what you disrespect about facts. But go ahead.
Yeah. And then I guess he to be fair, he did unretweet them, so I can credit him for that. And I didn't want to have any more like drama with him, so
sure.
And I did.
Well, I think it's why he gets away with it a lot because what he did to you is cruel. He was mad that you were in it as much as you were. I don't think he saw it coming, and he wanted to make sure it was as difficult for you to move on the next level of YouTube as humanly possible. And he only took it back when the pressure, and this has happened 1,000 times before, when the pressure was so much that he had to. I mean, he even got a video made on him by No Fuckers, and I saw a lot of smaller, like tiny YouTubers doing that. That's not what he wants. Nothing makes him crazier than seeing his name in a title. And to be honest with you, I thought it was one of the cruelest things that he's done since I've seen him. I mean, I've seen him do a lot of rotten shit. And you're talking to somebody that told people that I was poor and I couldn't feed my family and shit. I don't think it was as bad as what he just did to you because it's an obvious attempt to make sure you don't succeed because you're not one of his guys.
Yeah. Fuck other people's success.
Yeah, that was so clearly what it was to me. It's that you're moving on and you have no connection to him. You know, he's never really shouted you out. You know, he shouted Nerd City out. He shouted Justin Wang out and stuff like that. As you move up, he can't take the subs he had away from you because he never gave you one to begin with. Maybe a little bit with Chubbs, but Jesus, how high were you when the Chubbs story broke? How big? I think you had 10K.
9,000.
9,000 subs.
Yeah.
When you did the Chubbs story, so he supported you on that when you both had a mutual enemy. But
he didn't like the video from that. I know he didn't like the video.
He said it after the fact. I remember that. No, he said he didn't like the video after you said, "Hey, let's pull back on Chubbs. He's already paid his fine." Then he started saying publicly that he didn't like the video because you thought that some of the Chubbs hate was going way overboard and getting witch huntish.
I still do. Honestly, I feel bad for Chubbs. Sometimes I want to take down the video purely.
He asked you the other day. I saw that.
Yeah, and I do feel bad because I didn't think it was going to affect him that badly, but it's really fucked the guy up. But yeah, it was something that it's still. I'm not going to take it down because it's one of those videos.
I don't think you should take it down. And I love Chubbs. I love Chubbs to death, and I don't think you should take it down.
Yeah, because I feel like if I was to take it down from him asking, it would show like he hasn't learned from it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you shouldn't take it down because it's your work. And
yeah, true.
And that's it. And I don't think you should take it down. And I don't think you should ask to take it down. But at the same time, I like to see Chubbs succeed too. You know. Yeah. I mean, I know you don't. I think he had a bad moment. I don't think he's a bad guy. You know.
See, I've not had much interaction with him.
I don't believe that shit for a minute. Keem likes videos that have impact. Your video had an impact. He didn't like it when he realized you weren't on Team Keem. That's what happened there.
Do you know what the funny thing is?
What's that?
Used to be quite a big Keemstar fan back in the day.
So was I.
Yeah, I was too.
He's a funny guy. I kept on thinking that fucking episode yesterday was about him. But bum.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you could take any one of those superficial charm, being funny, right down the line and put it on Keem. You know? All right. That's all I want to do is talk about him. Thanks so much. Is that woman that Shane Johnson was credible?
Is that woman that
Shane Johnson is credible psychologist, diagnosed or just has a bachelor's? That's a good question. Do you know the qualifications for the therapist? Are you aware?
I think she's a qualified therapist, but I don't think she's a qualified psychologist.
So she's not a doctor.
Yeah, she's not. I don't think she's a doctor.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't see her say anything other than the narcissist part, and I could be wrong about that. That wasn't consistent with everything that I've read about psychopathy. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think Jake's a sociopath?
Do I? I don't think it's impossible to tell at his age.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Honestly,
I don't think it's possible. If he is like this, late 20s, yeah, sure, no problem. But because this shit don't go away.
I can see what Geordie means when he says he's a kid. He's a
I actually, that's the only thing I agree with Geordie about. You know, I was out of my mind when I was his age. Out of my mind. If you gave me millions of dollars, you know what I would have done? Exactly what he did. I would have banged girls left and right.
Maybe be dead.
No,
I'm so glad the FaZe Banks things came up, and you really covered that well, by the way. And that's one thing I noticed when I first started thinking, Sosie. He didn't let that slide. He could have any girl in the world he wanted to, but he couldn't have Alyssa Violet. So what did he do? He fucked with her boyfriend. He fucked with her, and he fucked with her friends. That's a sign. That's a red flag right there. And he wouldn't let it go, really, right up until Logan got caught with the fucking with the dead body in Japan, and then he cooled the fuck out. And you guys pointed that out really well. So I think
it was a good point that he like edited it well as well, so it really highlighted well.
Yeah, he did a really good job on that.
Colossal said in the chat that the 1 in 25 sociopath thing is bullshit.
I did hear that. I heard it's 1 in 10. That was the other one. Yeah.
Are you sure you're not thinking of autism on that one?
Yeah.
Some people were saying it's 1 in 100, 1 in 50. So I
Colossal went to school for this shit, though. That's the thing.
And a Harvard University study from a psychologist called Dr. Martha, I think her name is. Mm-hmm. She basically said that 1 in 25, after the big study she did, 1 in 25 Americans are sociopaths. Mm. So that's from Harvard University. So it's pretty credible.
Here's another thing about being a sociopath. You can't test for the blood. It's not like cancer or you have an illness. It is the subjective
judgmental.
It is the subjective judgment of a psychological professional. That's all it is. There's no way to test for it.
Good point today, surprising about it. He basically said there should be a spectrum, a sociopathic spectrum. So some people have very high sociopathic traits, and then some people have low sociopathic traits. And he even said himself he has high traits, probably.
But this is what I don't like about psychology in general. When they can't be pinned down and nothing works exactly their way, let's talk spectrum. And I think that's an excuse in a lot of ways for basically how soft the science it really is to begin with. Because at the end of the day, when you call somebody a sociopath, all right, and you're a doctor and we're diagnosed somebody, it is your opinion. There is nothing biological that can prove what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, that's a fact. There's no way around that. Do I think Jake Paul's a sociopath? It's a possibility. Possibility. Let's see when he's in his late 20s. You know?
Do you not think that... It might sound really cuntish, but don't you think that a lot of people may just want to brand themselves as sociopaths to have that label? So they
sure. We saw Zaptai. Remember Zaptai?
Yeah.
I think that was a part of it.
I spoke about this in the call earlier. I was saying, I find it really because people in the chat don't quote me on this, but yeah. I think you can't actually be diagnosed as a sociopath. I think you get diagnosed under antisocial personality disorder.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. That's what it is. She mentioned that as well. They don't call it sociopathy. They don't call it psychopath anymore, right? They call it antisocial personality disorder. Another thing is, if I had to throw fucking Geordie an ignorance bone, right? A lot of people associate sociopathy with, Norman Bates, Jason, fucking people. No, these people are just giant assholes that don't give a fuck about you. They're not necessarily murderers. They're just manipulators and self-centered cunts at the end of the day. They just don't care. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care. It's only about them. The only emotions they experience are emotions like, holy shit, I might die. and that's it. Then they might actually show some of their, when things like fear and otherwise, they just don't get people. There are people. I always wonder why people go, oh man, I don't give a fuck, and I want people to know I don't give a fuck. Oh, what are you, a sociopath? What's to brag about? But yeah, I think it's some element you're right, because it's like saying I don't give a fuck, I'm cool. Yeah. It's like being I don't care, but no, it means you're nuts. But most people are full of shit. The 1 in 25 thing, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I just saw the Harvard study, but with these studies, it changes with every single university. Harvard are pretty credible, obviously. But, also said the brain scans thing is.
They are doing stuff biological with it. I do know this.
Yeah, but you can actually see on when you do I can't remember what the scan's called, but when you take a look at analyze the brain, there are certain parts of it which
But that's all in theory stage, the way I understand it.
Yeah, it sounds all open for interpretation.
No, but they have guys that have diagnosed sociopaths, right? And they do see some differences in their brain, so they think they might be onto something biological
but it's not
at this stage, but they're not there yet.
It's in the research.
We're in the research part of it. That's what I think. And it is, like I said, I'll give True Geordie this. It's a little weird throwing that, that word around. And maybe because True Geordie grew up in Newcastle, and, I have a close friend from Newcastle, and it can get really rough up there. So he probably knows a fucking straight up. True Geordie probably grew up with a guy that's straight fucking crazy, So he kind of knows what it looks like, and he looks at Jake Paul. This guy's just an American asshole. Why are you calling him a psychopath? But in fairness, he's exploring it. And to sit there and criticize him for dramatic music, what do you want him to do? Make it boring?
It's like what I don't get. Like True Geordie's definitely sat for a murder documentary before.
I know.
People are saying you might be upsetting other sociopaths out there. Obviously, that's not the case. But the thing is, with these murder documentaries, are they going to be upsetting victims? Or are they going to be upsetting victims?
Yeah, he did say something like that. I didn't get the quote here that he's making light of mental illness. Are you kidding me? Where?
He was highlighting it. He was making it that's what I like. I liked about this documentary is the fact that it made mental health issues be something spoken about, something quite taboo, like sociopathy.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm never going to be super sensitive. Oh, I'm sorry. You have antisocial personality disorder? That's too bad. Fuck you. Get away from me. Get away from my kids.
If you were to say that, they wouldn't give a fuck because they're sociopaths.
Yeah, I know. Who cares?
I feel like people are forcing out.
Poor Adolf Hitler. He suffered from antisocial personality disorder. What a terrible thing. How was he struck with that terrible fate? Who gives a fuck? Fuck that guy. Fuck them all. And fuck Jake Paul if he's one too. I don't care. Fuck Jake Paul as it is.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
I mean, I've never met a sociopath. I've met a psychopath.
You probably have.
I've never met a sociopath.
No, they're not. They're all the same thing. It's just different names. You keep changing the name of it and softening. Psychopath is a sociopath. Is antisocial personality disorder. Go look it up, buddy. It's all the same.
And sociopathy have different word definitions.
There's no difference.
The words do genuinely have different.
Socially they do, but they kept on changing the name because every time they know this condition exists. But every time they name it, right, it becomes like an insult. So they change it.
Now, nobody wants to be a psychopath, do
they? Yeah, nobody wants to be a sociopath. Yeah, sociopath sounds cooler. But the same thing.
Psychopath's a word that gets thrown around so much and maybe even used as an insult. Like people are like, what, you fucking psychopath?
They stopped using psychopath in the mid-'60s as a medical term. Yeah, dude, the antisocial personality disorder has been around since, I would say, the mid-'80s.
Do you think antisocial personality disorder is something which is used to make it sound nicer?
Yeah, exactly. I know it is because it's the same condition, 100%.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Psychopath is a sociopath is antisocial personality disorder. I mean, you could look at it with things like shell shock in World War I. You know what that is? PTSD.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They kept on changing it up until Vietnam. That's all it is. They just changed the name of the condition. That's all. Do I have something? Fuzzy Tube is 100% a sociopath. Google it.
Everyone's telling you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh man. I got 500 people in here. I got iNabber in here. I think I deserve a like. I think I deserve a like. Thank you so much. Thank you.
There's definitely a difference between the two.
Yeah, there's a difference. But where are you seeing that?
It's It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's another thing. I mean, you have different
I
doctors.
think psychopathy is more. I swear it's meant to be way more like a violent nature.
Violent.
Yeah.
Well, I've been told that that like a psychopath mixed or antisocial personality or mixed with like a sadist.
Okay.
That's what creates.
You're both not incorrect.
Okay. What is
to a certain extent, Tommy's correct. Psychopathy is sometimes considered synonymous with sociopathy. So they're often considered the same thing.
APD.
I found a great website where you can look it up. I'll post it in the chat right now.
All right. There you go.
I already know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to look it up. Google. You do.
Google.com. It'll make you shake.
All right. Well, what's your plans for the future, big man?
But
Big Hutch. Yeah, yo. What are you going to do with all this money and subs? What are you going to do?
I just want to push for 200k by the end of the year, and then
you'll be all right.
I'm hoping to move out by the end of the year as well.
You're about done with university, right?
I finished university officially, but I graduate in January.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
What do your parents think?
Pardon?
What do your parents think of all this fame? And
my dad's more into it than I am. Like he's
really?
He's constantly calling me. He's like my manager at this point. I swear.
I called my dad when everything started taking off for me, and you took off a lot farther and faster than I did, and I don't think he believed me. So your dad's I was like, oh yeah, son. Well, I'm sorry you're unemployed at 39, but that was my reaction. Nobody believed me.
Yeah.
Now I tell people. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's last Christmas. The last time I was fully with like all of my family, and we were sat around a dinner table. And at this time, I had around 8,000 subs, and I was just, they were like, "So what do you want to do after uni?" And I was just like, full-time YouTuber, and everyone just looked at me because my family are quite old-fashioned.
I imagine.
I got a massive like death stare, pretty much. So, I'm looking forward to getting like round the dinner table again at Christmas and just seeing like, I fucking told you so. I'll do it. I just can't wait for it.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, you have all the doubters now. You can just say, hey, by the way, I'm making more money than any of my job prospects out of college. Oh man, it's really great. I don't think it could happen to a nicer guy. You're one of the nicer guys I've dealt with. You've always been nice to me. And
yeah, I feel like, but it's not like it's a case of like, this is what I was confused about when I was listening to Keem the other day, because we have disagreed on a few things, like, especially in our interviews.
Keem's a psychopath, sociopath, antisocial personality disorder, and he should not be dealt with or tried. See, I think that's the first mistake everybody makes with Keem. Like, you think he's just trying to get to the truth or something like that? No, he just tried to fuck you up. That's it. There's nothing else. There's no fine line here. There's nothing to read in between. He tried to fuck you up. He was very simply. This is really basic human stuff. He was jealous of you, and he tried to hurt you. That's it. He's not to be dealt with. That's all. And you would be doing a lot of good practicing that. Talk to Shane about it. I bet he understands Keem. Talk to Shane about it. I'm serious. And how to deal with just simply ignoring him. You know? Yeah. He doesn't want people, look, he doesn't want people to succeed that don't have his stamp. And now what he's going to start doing is he's going to start shouting up and comers. So if you fuck him over, I had a YouTuber tell me, he's like, I did the numbers. I have 20% of his fan base comes from Keem. And he knows that if he ever says something, makes a criticism of Keem, and Keem's not going to, well, it's pretty good criticism. Okay, fair enough. Or just let it slide. He lets nothing slide. Everything is a backstab that he's going to lose 20% of his audience.
Yeah.
So stop looking at it like you're dealing with somebody that wants to come, that you're just having a disagreement with. No, it's somebody that's trying to hurt you. That's it. That's the only motivation. There's no miscommunication here. The Alex guy said you'd use the N-word. How hypocritical is that?
You don't know what he would say about that, though.
That's not me. Yep. That is not me. I never said that in my life.
Good time.
I do find it a bit mad when like white people say, "I've never used the N word in my life." Like,
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Every single human being in the world has used that word at least
God,
once.
fucking Versts said it about 16 times before we got in the air. We had to tell him to calm down. Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're in that Modern Warfare 2 lobby, I mean, it's no holds barred.
Yeah, look out. All right. I feel like
That's Hell in a Cell, pretty much.
And I'm from Missouri, and he was saying it more than me. So,
yeah.
I
Yes. Yeah, because you're a big hillbilly. I think we had a really good stream, and I think we should end it right here. What do you think, Versts?
Yeah, sounds
Just
good.
turned out to be an iNabber interview.
Yeah, fuck the callers. Fuck them.
All right, you want to talk to? Is there any? There's a lot of people in there.
Lord Vega. Oh, actually, pull Kyle up, please. Can you pull Kyle up real quickly?
Okay, sure. Kyle, you're on the air.
All right.
Well, why am I here?
I don't know, because Versts told me to pull you up.
All right.
He didn't watch the show, and he didn't know why he had to pull you up.
I just heard you renting it.
Shut up. Okay, let him know. Let him know.
Versts did say at the start that the first thing this morning that he didn't watch it, and you said, "Okay, cool, we'll."
I thought he would watch it later.
No.
I thought he would watch it later.
Shut up.
Hang on,
Tommy, shut up.
Hang on. And I want to quote the bit on the difference between sociopathy and psychopathy.
Oh, shut up. I'm going to blow you up. Go ahead. Big it quick.
Go for it.
Okay, sure. There you go.
See that game? You need to take criticism like that. That's how you take criticism.
I don't know. I want to put a normal person. Hey, you want to talk to iNabber, Jadam? You're on with iNabber.
Hi.
Say something. Oh, God. Everybody's dopey.
He's changing his Discord picture.
Yeah, nice.
All right, let's see. Hey, as his fellow resident of the UK, Green Man, are you jealous of iNabber?
Get a
Oh
translator.
my god, he's such a big successful YouTuber. I bet he's getting all those bitches now.
iNabber, are you getting all the bitches now? iNabber, are you getting all the bitches now?
Yeah, I am. No. Is that a Scouse accent?
Is that a wow? I'm fucking offended.
You're out of luck.
I have never stole anything in my life. I'm obviously not from Liverpool. Okay.
You've got a Scottish accent.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
You must have stolen a few things.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! I have a Scottish accent. Fuck man, this is news to me. I thought it was English.
You can understand him.
First Scottish person I speak to in about a year, I just get roasted instantly.
Yeah. We put him on because he's weird. Do you understand his language?
Am I the only one who can't decipher this?
I'm part Scottish, so.
Oh, you're part Scottish?
I'm part Scottish and part Spanish.
You look like you have a Mac in your last name. I got to be honest with you.
Tommy, we need to speak after the stream. What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know that you have a Mac in your last name. I just made it up.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, don't say anything. I don't know. I don't know your last name.
Tommy.
I know your first name. That's it.
Great, you just fucking doxed.
I didn't dox him if he has a Mac. How many fucking Macs are in Scotland, Ireland, and fucking New Jersey, for Christ's sake?
Dawson again.
Oh shit, Medicare's in the chat. What's up, dude?
Is he really?
No, I'm fucking with you.
So I had a question about the True Geordie.
Yeah.
I know, but like obviously like, you're kind of in that wee group about True Geordie, iMaverick, so many you know the people, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. So like,
Think you
is it
can
kind of weird that True Geordie in these last two podcasts has basically came out and swagged utter fuck at you? Just
No,
out
I
of
know
nowhere?
it is weird. And then the
That
thing
is.
I spoke to Geordie about it. He replied to me, and he was just like, "Oh no, I think you make good stuff." And I'm like, "But you criticized me on the podcast."
Yeah, it's kind of like because I bet you have like a lot of like shared fans probably. Like I'm not sure, but you probably do. It's just kind of shy. I'm just doing it. There's probably someone in the chat saying something like that.
Jeff's not getting a fucking word. Jeff's not getting a word. You know what, Jeff? Why don't you hang out with Green Man and learn some Scottish?
I didn't understand one word you said.
Hey, Jeff,
I should
Just
have
not
taken your
cultured.
advice just to end the stream. You were right.
Well, you got Tommy NC in the chat. He's wanting to call.
I gotta go. I'll talk to I'll talk to some people afterwards, but I gotta go. Green Man, hang around. I'm gonna go in a regular room after this. Not even a Patreon room. Okay, talk to you later, bud. With that, iNabber, thanks so much for being on, and all the best to your success and the future and stuff like that. Did you said something about you talked to True Geordie?
Yeah. I tweeted at him. I was like, I don't know how to because he'd spoken with me in the last two podcasts. I was like, I don't know how to respond to this, but I've enjoyed the podcast because I've watched it since it began. And he replied with he followed me, and then he replied with like something like, wasn't meant as criticism. You make good stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
I just find it weird because it was blatant criticism. But yeah, I mean,
Maybe he's a big phony.
I mean, I'll not. I don't take it to heart because I know on that podcast they take the piss out of everyone. So
Okay.
it's just,
You know, every time I see, I don't listen to his podcast, right? And that's why I understand they're taking the piss all the time. Every time I see him interviewed, especially in sports, he's serious as a heart attack.
Wait, what do you mean?
He's serious as a heart attack. I never see the jokey, easygoing, the Geordie part of True Geordie. I never see the Geordie part.
I think he just needs to get really drunk.
I mean, I don't really hate the guy or anything. I just think, like, you know, like, I think the doing it for views thing is just enough to make you, for a guy that makes his living on YouTube, right? Who, let's be honest, would probably be living in Newcastle, not doing all that fucking much besides, you know, waiting for Saturday. You know, you think would be grateful. I mean, of course he's doing it for views. I mean, you know.
If you, to be fair to him, the videos where you'll see him be his Geordie self, I don't know if there's any true Geordie viewers in the chat, but if they are, they'll know his old football hangover videos are what he used to really make, because that's what his channel grew from, making football, talking about football. And he used to have this thing called the football hangover, where every week it would come on and he'd just talk about all the results, and he'd get really mad and he was drunk every time he recorded it. And that's
so
what
cool.
I first started watching.
I was told that True Geordie had what I wanted with Shot from the Point when it came to hockey. You know,
he did 100%.
Yeah, it was really similar, and then I really like him and stuff. But I see him as a YouTube royalty now, and I don't see that working class Geordie that I would like to see. And it's just because I guess I didn't. You know what it is? I wasn't there when his content was, you know, when he made himself. I'm sure I would.
Everyone
like the guy.
missed out on prime True Geordie. True Geordie back in early 2016, late 2015 was so good, because I don't know if it's because he was talking about things I was more interested in, because I like most of the videos I watched on YouTube are about sport at this point.
Yeah, I know.
He was one of the main sport YouTubers I used to watch, because he was just funny, but he used to cover it well as well.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
He still does his live stream every week though. About
I'll go check it out. I got to give it a chance, because I know more about football than the average American, but you know, not that much.
I mean, we've spoken about it before.
Oh yeah. Oh, me and you. Yeah, I'm not that good. Well, I have a Mine's No Fump hat on. That's the local team over here. Because everybody lost. Everybody lost. Frankfurt lost. Mainz lost. And Wiesbaden lost. So it's been a real loser weekend over here.
I buy and just run it away with it again.
My uncle, my father-in-law Wolfgang was here, watched all the games, and everybody fucking lost. All right, everybody. I want to say something to you, Sam. It's time to go. Thanks so much for being a part of this sort of impromptu interview of Shot from the Point with the iNabber, who is going places. Highly recommend the Shane Dawson stuff, even if you're not a Shane Dawson guy. It's good stuff. I'll see you Tuesday. Peace.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-Town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones. Bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read them eagles to you like I'm shit.
I gotta tell my daughter that the guy that was in the video we watched today called the show.
I'm about to make your heart breathe. Here's a headline.
Thanks, iNabber. I appreciate
No worries,
it.
man.
All
It's good.
right.
It's always